Let's talk about books. Yes, let's talk about books. Confession time. I have an addiction for drum books. And I certainly have more books than I'll ever be able to practice. But that's another story. That's not why we're here. We're here to talk about books because I love books, not only because of my addiction, but they are crucial for anyone who wants to learn to play an instrument. And there are great drum books that they changed the world. For this first chapter about talking books, I decided to talk about a gentleman called Jim Chapin. The thing with Jim is whenever somebody says Jim Chapin, two things come to mind. The Moeller Stroke and this book. Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer, Coordinated Independence as Applied to Jazz and Bebop. What very few people notice is, on top of this, it says Volume 1. If this is Volume 1, it's because there's Volume 2. A little bit of history about this book. This book was written in the 1940s. They were kind of a compilation of Jim's lessons. He was already a very sought-after drum teacher in the 1940s. And according to my great teacher and mentor, Mr. Dom Famularo, his mother saw the papers, the loose sheets, and she realized, because probably she was a musician as well, we never got to that part of the conversation, but she saw that there was a sequence, and then she started, she compiled it, and she took to a copy place and bind them, and according to legend, she chose a blue cover with red spirals, and that's why we still have that here. So Jim started to sell it to his students for the lessons. But then in 1948, it was released as a book, the way we see today. And immediately it caused awe in the drumming community because it starts quite simple and basic for learning to play jazz and independence and coordination. But as you advance in the book, it gets really complicated. And some drummers, some well-known drummers, thought that this book was impossible to play everything. So the publishing company did a US tour of Jim's clinics, so he could kind of prove to everyone that yes, this book can be played. And according to Dom, he used to play front to back, right hand on the right cymbal, back to front, left hand, back to back. He would go all the way to the end, right hand on the right cymbal, and all the way back to the beginning, left hand on the cymbal. Even though I talked for this book quite a lot, this is not the book we're talking about. No, we're not. This is the one that everybody knows and most people have studied. Everybody my age surely has seen this book. As I said, it says Volume 1, which means there's a Volume 2. And this is what we're going to talk about. Jim Chapin's second book. Same title, Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer, Volume 2. And here, very important information, the open end, which means there's no end. The other book was for jazz, bebop, This is rock, Latin, jazz, and the number system. What is the number system? And this box here has a very interesting thing that I think it's great. And it's just the beginning of Jim letting us into his genius. The book for the drum fanatic. So if you're not a drum fanatic, don't bother. The book that is unfinishable. Yeah, this book never ends. And the book for a lifetime. Obviously, if you cannot finish, it's for a lifetime. Your life will finish, but not the book. Genius, right? Okay. The other thing we need to have in mind is this book was released 20 years later, late 60s. So the first book was released 1948. This is 20 years later. Even though it's 20 years later, it's more than 50 years ago, 55 to be more precise. which means computers were something from a sci-fi movie. Maybe NASA had, I don't know. But, well, NASA, they really did because they put the man on the moon. Anyway, so this book is way before internet, computers, YouTube, Instagram, online courses. And this is the genius of Jim Shapley. Unfortunately, as it happens with geniuses, people didn't understand. The first book was released through a publishing company. This is self-published. And because it was self-published, it didn't do as well. So this book is a rarity. I probably should have this in a museum because very, very few people, especially compared to how many copies the other book has sold over the years, very few people have this book. I'm a very fortunate guy that I could find it and can practice sometimes. The other thing I want to mention is probably that's why the publishing company wasn't interested is this book's quite thin, right? And it has an end. It is on page 51. Page 51, this book ends. This book is quite thick and never ends. So that's probably why the publishing company decided, yeah, it's not for us, which is a shame. Now, let's open the book. So as you can see, it has the form of binders. Why? Well, here there's a little bit of an explanation on how you use the book, a few suggestions, how the things work and everything. We're going to go into detail with this. So it divides into easy jazz, Latin, and rock, and then difficult jazz, Latin, and rock. And here at the bottom has this amazing phrase, the extra blue sheets for do-it-yourselfers. Genius, what can I say? All right, okay. So it has the form of a binder because you can take the pages and do them any way you want. So it's better if you can open this and take the book apart, let's say. So let's put this a little bit more in the center. So here in the beginning, you have this cream or beige pages where Jim explains the number system. That's what he's talking about. So the number system. He explains here, and then it has all the explanation. Again, all in text because this is way before the internet, even way before video cassettes were popular. So you had to write in a very clear manner so people could understand, right? So that's what Jim did. So this is the number system. And here we have yellow pages, okay? So the thing about the yellow pages are, on this side here, you have the notes, and here on the other side, there are some interpretation. It teaches you what to do, how to do it, and how to better explore for all these pages. So on the front, the notes, on the back, the explanation. And this goes from page 13 to page 99, which are 86 pages, but in truth, there are 43 of these with the explanation. Now, let's turn the whole thing. The other thing that is genius is here, there are pins, okay? Why? So after you finish all the 43 pages, the yellow pages, after you finish all the 43 pages, the way he explains, then comes the extra blue sheets for the do-it-yourselfers. And here they are. And now you're going to understand why this is like a binder and you have the pins. First thing is, I'm going to randomly choose a page here. So I stopped on page 67, okay? I'm going to open page 67, close it again. I'm going to put everything over there. And now is where the pins, they are very important. because I'm going to put the yellow page into the pins. So now we have our yellow page into the pin, fixed on the pins. Here's our solo exercise. So there's figures, triplets, and other stuff. And now I'm gonna randomly choose one of the blue pages. So I chose L2. As you can see, the blue pages, they have these windows. Can you see my eyes over there? Can you see my finger? So you put the blue page on top, use the pin, and you put the blue page on top of the yellow page. And through the window, you can see what was written in the yellow page. And here you have notes written on top and notes written at the bottom. And we have this transparency here with black stripes. And then what I do is I put this over here and this over here. So now the black stripe is covering the top line. So I have the middle line in the window and the bottom line. And then I can choose to play right hand and left foot or whatever I want to do. Or if I want to play the jazz ride pattern with my right hand and the hi-hat and play what I can see here, the top line here with on the snare and the bottom line on the bass drum, okay? Or as Jim used to say himself, create a completely different music style, who knows? Okay, cool. So, but there's more, because the same way I put the transparency like that, I can take it off, turn this upside down, and here it goes. And now the black stripe covers the bottom line. And here I have the top line of the blue sheet with the yellow page in the window. And for example, now I can decide if I decided to play jazz, snare and bass drum, what I saw before, I can decide, okay, on the top, I'm gonna play, because these are all triplets, on top, I'm gonna play the right cymbal, the notes are written on top, and still playing the snare drum on the left hand and keep simple bass and hi-hat. You see? So what happens is, this side of the blue sheet, L2, turned into 2 pages. But the same way I can turn and put the transparency upside down, I can do the same thing with the blue sheet. Because here now, on the other way around, I have L1. And well, with L1, I can do this, and I can do this. After you did the 43 pages, as they are with the recommendations by Jim, if you use the blue sheets with that transparency, each yellow page turns into 4 different pages, because you can put like this and like that. Okay? And why is it the open end? You're gonna see right now. So there are 23 blue sheets, front and back. That makes 46, right? So you have 46 blue sheets, each one of them turning into 4 for each of these pages with the transparency. That is a total of 184 combinations for one yellow page, right? So you can, with all those mixing, matchings and upside down and front and back and all these combinations. So each yellow page turns into 184 pages. So you have 43 yellow pages. That's a total of 7,912 pages. So Jim, he wrote a drum book that is bigger than the Bible. It has 7,912 pages. So is this genius or what? Yeah, amazing. And as I said, This is a very rare book. Let's put the cover back so you can see it. Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer, Volume 2, The Open End. I hope you liked this video. If you like this book, try to find it and get it. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun because you can just open to any yellow page, get any blue sheet and get this transparency, and you're gonna have fun for hours, right? If you arrived up to this point in this video, write in the comments, I'm here. If you liked the video, press like. If you didn't press, you didn't like, because it's good for me to know what kind of videos you like, what kind of videos you don't like. As I said before, I hope you like this, because I intend to talk about more books. See you next time.